What's going on, you guys? Alex here with Elevation Off Grid. Welcome back to the shop. We have another ridiculous truck for you today. Behind me here is a Black Edition F-550 2024. This has a full matte PPF. This is carbonized gray, Ford factory color to begin with. Full matte PPF. This is not vinyl wrap. This is actually paint protection film all the way around, super durable and strong. This truck has a GOST overland camera system on it. We got the WeBoost antenna, CB radio antenna. We got the monitor for the camera system up there. I mean, the matte finish is just... This truck is absolutely loaded with options, so video is probably going to be pretty lengthy showing the build and delivery. I will cut up some chapters so you guys can kind of jump through the video as you please. But let's check out some of the build and the client picking up his truck for the first time. Not all of it is visible as pictured, but our Morel audio system consists of two 6.5-inch drivers for the rear doors, crossovers for every speaker, 5-inch woofers for the front doors, tweeters, and two mid-range 3-inch speakers as well. The sub is an Ultimo Power Slim from Morel 10-inch with a Mobridge amplifier.
So we've installed the GOST overland camera system here today. We've installed them on the mirror, side view mirror here to get one of our 8 camera views. As you can see here, it's a pretty in-depth process as far as installing these in the mirror. We cut a hole in the side, route the wires behind the skeleton structure of the mirror in here, and we'll actually end up running wires through the whole frame with the factory harness to make sure that there's no pinching or catching and that all of the functions of the mirror are going to continue to work as they did from the factory.
PPF was applied during all different stages of this build here, so continuity may be a little off, but we wanted to show what this process looks like.
Hi, I'm Alex. Welcome to Cribs. This is a really cool build we have going on here for one of our clients. This camper is going to have security and a camera system that ties in with the truck. There will be outside cameras, inside security measures. You can see here we have access gained underneath in our cabinets here. Lots of things taken apart in the back of the truck here, making sure that everything is hidden away, clean, just like the builds that we do on all of our trucks. Well, excuse the wheelchair, my ACL happens to be in tatters, but I'm gonna walk you around. But I'm gonna roll you around this truck, kind of show you what we got going on. So we have forward-facing cameras here and here. We have a thermal view camera, as well as a regular camera. Further in the camera system, there's a camera in both mirrors. These are from the GOST Overland camera package. It's 8 total cameras, and it ties into the security suite as well as a DVR and satellite tracking to access the video feed remotely. You can see our other camera on the other mirror here, as well as our client requested a WeBoost cell phone antenna booster, as well as a CB radio antenna on the other side of the truck there, all with custom bracketry, perfect fit for the truck. So you can see here, we 3D printed a custom bracket that'll support the WeBoost and the CB radio antenna that follows the contour of the truck to keep it up and down, with another support bracket to tie it into the structure behind the fender. So because we had to open up the grille for access to our cameras, we added a support structure within the grille to keep everything nice and solid behind there, keep the factory look of everything, and make sure you're not gonna get any phantom squeaks, rattles, or failure of parts. So now that we're up in my much larger wheelchair, let me show you a couple things we did inside the truck. So the controller and the display for our camera system are here. This is our rotary controller from GOST, and our display screen. You can see now that the display screen is on its thermal view. We're able to cycle through camera views there by just rotating the dial. We can tap and get multiple views up here, as well as options for settings. You can cycle through there and keep tapping and you'll get back to your normal screens. We did add, as part of the security system feature, an interior camera to make sure if anyone tries to wrangle this thing, they're gonna get caught and we're gonna see them do it. We also did install a digital rear view camera that does not come factory on the Ford. This helps with aiming when we are loading the slide-in camper, as well as a fifth wheel hitch, and of course, just your typical traffic and everyday driving. You can see here our CB radio install. We left it nice and accessible so that it would be easy to reach over and grab that, turn it on, and be able to talk to anybody really at a moment's notice. We installed a Bullet Point Mounting Solutions dash mount here. This is tied into obviously the mount for our display screen here, but we also have our WeBoost interior antenna installed behind there, nice and close to where you're gonna mount your phone all the time. And then the coup de grace of the build, we have a Morel audio system installed in here. Really my favorite part of this whole build. The audio system is absolutely top notch. We've integrated into factory locations, in all of the doors, in the A-pillars, and then we add a custom sub box behind the rear seat, as well as speakers up in the dash here to really control that audio coming off of the windshield. The final part of the anti-theft system on this truck, as well as the security system, is the Ravelco unit here. What this does is relocate some wires here into a custom matched key. So this is a very high-end security system to go along with the rest of our high-end products that we like to put on our trucks. We only use the most trusted, proven systems anytime we build anything for one of our clients, and Ravelco certainly meets those standards.
All right, you're not ready, right?
I am, yeah,
wait a
I'm
little
like, I
longer?
do have to okay, I gotta psych myself. Okay, I gotta relax. Okay, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Totally.
How you doing, sir?
Good. How's the old ACL?
Oh, it's all right. It's all right.
Oh man. Well, thank you so much for all your work.
Of course, it's our
Appreciate
pleasure.
it.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
wow,
we're excited.
Dude, look at that. That looks so cool. Wow.
Turned out super nice.
Oh man, that's epic. Look at that. That's cool. Wow.
So
That is awesome.
for all of the mat wrap, we remove all of the any moldings, trim, any of that stuff. It all gets removed, so the PPF actually goes underneath it, so you'll never have like a pulled edge. It's also hand cut, so it's not templates.
Okay.
So,
okay.
like for example, on the bed, it's hand cut around the flare. The film's wrapped under the flare. It's wrapped all the way to the edge. Whereas a lot of times with templates, you'll get a seam that'll pull up or something like that. So,
Oh wow.
yeah.
That looks cool.
The guy who does this for us does an awesome job. Yep.
Oh man.
Yep.
This is so cool. Oh man. Is it okay if I think it's the coolest one you guys have done?
I think it absolutely.
That's what we strive for.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
I know I'm biased, but
No,
Quite possibly could be.
it's very. It's definitely top 3.
oh yeah.
Yeah, that came out good.
Oh,
These
man.
camper tie downs do come off. Also.
Oh, okay.
So you pull a
Yeah.
pin and they
Close
slide
in.
out, right? So
Yeah.
we just have it on there since we're loading a camper. But
Oh yeah, totally.
come on. So
Oh yeah, that's it.
right.
Yeah, totally.
So if you don't have a camper on, you pull them off.
Oh yeah, totally. That's sweet. Have you guys put it on to test it?
Last night.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Okay.
So CB mount.
Okay.
So we made this bracket there, so it sits really nice on the fender and it's super
Oh
sturdy.
yeah.
Yep.
That's cool.
And then camera infrared.
Okay. That's awesome.
And then on the WeBoost, kind of same idea.
Okay.
Made the bracket, and then there's actually a steel portion that mounts it to the fender bolt there, just because he's a little bit heavier. So it's
Okay.
actually mounted to the fender mounting bolt down there. And this is also, I don't know if you know this, but this is also adjustable that way.
Oh,
right?
okay. Okay.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. What's this one?
So this is just your AM/FM antenna.
Oh, that's just a regular.
It looked we thought it looked a little bit weird with the stock antenna right next to it, that height.
Oh,
Plus, we also thought maybe
okay.
we weren't certain, but we thought, well, I wonder if it would interfere or something like that. So
Yeah.
we just threw, replaced
Put
it
a shorty.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
I think they look better, period, anyway.
Yeah. And
Side view.
Okay.
Night vision cameras for GOST system,
okay.
which again, Alex went over all that with you.
Right.
Yep.
Oh man.
Yeah. He'll go over all of the rear connections as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Again.
Wow.
Initial thoughts?
I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. It looks so awesome.
The matte
The matte. So I'd never seen the matte on the carbonized gray, and I was like,
This is the first one.
so well.
Yeah.
I tried looking online to see if I could find some pictures, and it was hard to find any like pictures that really would do it justice.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I talked to Travis about it, and I was like, let's just do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's gonna look cool. But,
Oh no, it
yeah.
looks awesome.
And I think it looks so cool.
It looks very, very, very unique.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we do
Yeah.
the roof, we remove those 4 clearance lights on top,
Yeah.
and then they all get replaced actually. But yeah, so the whole roof is done
okay.
solid, one sheet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Also on this,
yeah.
we actually did the headlight surrounds also.
Oh, in matte.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we thought
okay.
it looked really good, so we left it.
It does look really good.
Very
Yeah.
nice, subtle touch.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I hadn't noticed that until you pointed it out.
We just tried it on a whim.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, that looks sweet. We gotta leave it.
Yeah,
So we did.
yeah.
Ties in
Totally.
the corner of it, like really nice.
does.
Yeah,
It
totally.
does. Heck yeah.
I do.
So you have obviously Warren 16,500 pound winch lives in here.
Yep.
Baja design LP6 forward facing, light bar, corner lamps.
Yep.
So if you want to stand right there, I'll just run through the orientation with you real quick, and then we'll do
Okay.
it inside as well. So this is
Yeah.
going to be your forward facing.
Okay. Okay.
Aux switch 2 is the light bar.
Okay.
Aux switch 3 is your corners.
Okay.
And then 6 is your rear.
The rear. Okay.
Yeah, rear. So that's your rearward facing.
Oh, okay. Let me just check that out real
Yep.
quick. Yeah. Oh, okay.
2 Baja squadrons
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
in the back there.
That's awesome. That'll be super helpful.
Yep.
Oh, Rob. So that's just underneath?
Yeah, so that's above all 4 wheels, and then there are some mid-mounted under the chassis.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So as far as the lamp configuration, we aim the forward-facing lamps low and inboard.
Okay.
So low and inboard. So if you look
Yeah.
at the garage door, you have one. You kind of look at the height of where the beam is hitting that door.
Yeah.
Then you go headlights. It's just ever so slightly above it,
Okay.
right? Then 2 is your light bar.
Oh,
So
wow.
basically, the throw of the lamp increases as you move down your aux switches.
Right.
And then 3 is your corners. So that's
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
how we orient them, how we aim them, how we wire them.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Totally.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So 4. That's 5. So that's your underbody lighting.
Okay. Wow.
So 1 is furthest to the left. It's forward facing.
Yeah.
Yep. 2 is light bar. Then 3 is corner.
Okay.
Yep. So 4, as Alex said, air compressor. You will only hear that turn on if the system is not pressurized.
Okay.
If there's
Yeah,
already
yeah.
pressure in the system,
It'll just be
it won't do anything
Right,
until
okay.
you hook a hose up to it, and then it'll turn on.
until it bleeds a bit.
Correct.
Okay.
And we do a pretty good job, putting the systems together very tight, but they still will bleed a little bit. So if
Right.
it sits for a few days, you'll turn on, you'll hear it run. No worries.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I really love this. That's so cool.
It's hard not to, honestly.
Yeah.
So you just heard the suspension adjust. It's sensing it's not sensing the weight, but it's sensing, say, a compression in the strut. The height sensor realizes that. So it basically just increased the fluid pressure to put it back at ride height when I got in.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep. So driver interface. This is in charge of all of the suspension settings. So
Okay.
on the left side, you have ride stiffness control. On the right side is height control. So
Okay.
right now we have him in comfort.
Yeah.
Up once, normal. Up one more time, sport. Empty, you're probably always going to leave it in comfort.
In comfort.
Yep.
When
Can't-
you're driving.
Yep, when you're driving.
Okay.
With your camper on, you'll be normal or sport, depending on driving conditions. So basically what that does is it changes rate valve activity, how sensitive the rate valves are. It increases or decreases the sensitivity in which the spring rates are adjusted, if that makes sense.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So if I'm cornering harder, then I'm more likely to use sport.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Or if you're fully loaded, driving down I-80 and there's a 50, 60 mile per hour crosswind, and you can feel maybe truck leaning over and you're in comfort or normal, put it in sport, it'll stiffen it up.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
And if you're on like a rough trail and you've got like some side lean, would that change it? Would you
that would depend on speed. So
slow, like generally slow, I'm saying.
So the suspension is designed to allow articulation within the axles at a lower speed.
Okay.
Is you want that articulation when
Right,
you're going slow, crawling over logs or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So there's no rate valve activity under 15 miles an hour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so it's more for just speed. Okay.
Yep,
Gotcha.
yep.
Okay.
Now, on the contrary, you're on a washboard road or there's big potholes, and you're going 40 or 50 miles an hour, something like that with your camper on, which you can totally do.
Yeah.
In that case,
Which I will totally be in that
I
scenario.
would put it in sport. I would put it in comfort.
In comfort.
Even though you're going faster, you want there to be less rate valve activity because you want the suspension to travel more freely. You're not worried so much about, say, side sway at that point.
Sway.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
This button up here, that little blue light,
Yeah.
this turns on the Bluetooth for the system.
Okay.
The final application for LiquidSpring is not released yet. It will be released soon,
Okay.
at which point you'll be able to connect your phone to it, and then you have all of these controls on your phone. It's just not out yet, but once it's out,
Okay.
that's the button you press for it.
Okay.
These are height control settings. Right now we're in normal,
Yeah.
M low,
Okay.
and M high. Those modulate the tail of the truck. So the front stays in normal.
Oh.
M low will drop the tail to low.
What scenario would that be most useful?
Think hooking up a trailer,
Oh. Okay.
loading a camper on uneven terrain,
Oh. Okay.
loading things in and out of the pickup bed. It's crazy how actually functionally useful it is.
Yeah.
You'll
Okay.
use it all the time.
Okay.
Yesterday, I unloaded a truck. We had like 5 tires in it, and it's like, well, put it in low. It's 4 inches lower. It's easier to get in.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so just
yeah,
little
totally.
things.
Totally.
Put him all the way in low.
Yeah.
Obviously, with no camper in it, puts your roof height at 610. So you
Okay.
can. Well, actually, maybe not with the WeBoost, but if you flipped him backwards, then you'd be good.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, but
So that'll be my limiting factor.
yep. But if you tilt him back, you'll still be good.
Okay.
And that'll flex, so no worries.
Right. Right.
I
so I can
park
get in a 6'10" garage or a 7 foot garage?
7. Yeah,
Seven.
it'll put roof height at 610.
Okay.
Yeah. So I frequently park in a parking garage that's 7 foot max,
Okay.
and I take one of our trucks, I put it in low, all the way down 3rd level underground.
Okay.
No problem.
No problem.
Yep.
Okay.
And people with like 350s on 35s have to park in a parking lot like across the street because
really?
they don't fit. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is sweet.
Yeah.
That is sweet.
So that's low.
Yeah.
So now we'll just go all the way up to high.
Okay.
So this is your full 8 inches of suspension travel here.
Okay.
So as it's flashing.
We're going up 4. Oh no, we started at low, so now we're going up.
Yep,
8, you're
yep.
saying. Okay.
So right now it's in M low. That's why it's flashing M low. Now it'll go M high.
Oh, so it's doing the rear and then oh, it is doing the rear first?
So it'll do front first.
Oh, front first.
Front first.
Okay.
So he'll be in normal,
Yeah.
and then he'll go from normal to M high high.
Okay. So the 2 M's were the back though.
Yes.
And the rears. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I gotcha.
So is that solid? You're good to go.
Okay.
That's high. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So with that said, if you're off-road and you're navigating over different terrain,
Yeah.
leave it in normal. Don't put it in high.
Oh, okay.
If you think about the way that a piston is inside of that cylinder, if it's normal, it's centered. If
Right.
you're in low, it's going to be all the way up. If you're in high,
okay.
you're going to be almost at the bottom,
extended.
right?
Okay.
So you have less travel in the opposite direction when you're in high or low.
Okay.
So high in like an off-road situation would be you're going to navigate over something straight that you think maybe you don't have enough center clearance over. That's a situation where you'd want to use the extra 4 inches. Or when we did our first R&D trip with our blue truck in a trail here called Chinaman Gulch, we got high centered on like a couple really huge boulders, like literally 3 foot tall boulders. And
you got high, like in the center of the truck.
Yep.
Skid plate or no skid plate?
No skid plate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we were on the amp steps.
Oh, okay.
And I guess amp steps and transmission skid plate kind of.
Okay.
So we were.
Are the amp steps strong enough to do that?
I mean, it damaged them, but they still work.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. So it's easy for you guys. You can just fix it.
Well, sure. Yeah. But we actually never.
So probably not recommended for me.
We actually never did though.
Oh, you never did?
We never did. We just left them. Yeah, they were fine.
Okay. They're not made as sliders, but they'll get you out of a pinch if you really need to.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we got out of that situation. We were kind of determined, like we didn't want to pull a winch line, and we didn't take another vehicle with us, and we had no business on this trail. We put it into high, and it gave us just enough height to get over that obstacle.
Oh, okay. So
But
you didn't even try putting it in high before you hit the obstacle?
Throughout the entire trail, it's probably one of the top 3 hardest trails in Colorado.
Oh, wow.
So throughout the whole trail, we were in normal. That's really what gives you the best
articulation.
Articulation.
Right.
That's where programming is best for full jounce, full compression on one side, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically what you'd use high for. High is good. Get the undercarriage of the truck filthy. You want to clean them off. It's easy to get under it and spray it. With a pressure washer. You're going to change your desiccant filter.
Oh, I
on the LiquidSpring, which I'll explain that to you. Anything you do under the truck, that's what high is good for. Now, on the contrary,
so as soon as I do my first water crossing, that means I'm going to have to change the desiccant filter? Is that pretty much how it works?
It depends how deep you get.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess deep in this truck is different than deep in my old truck.
100%. Yeah. Oh, so a water crossing high, that's an awesome use for high.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And you will feel a difference, like you drive across a riverbed, say with normal riverbed rocks, like you maybe that, and then like a couple larger ones. If you drive across it in normal and then you drive across it in high, you will feel a difference in how the suspension is reacting to those inputs. And you'll be like, oh yeah, this is why Jeremy said normal.
Yeah. Right.
But if the water's super deep,
then
put it in high. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
There is stuff under here that Alex will go over with you that I won't.
Okay.
But I'll go over the basics. This is your power step fuse here. So if you were to ever open the door of the truck to get in and the steps don't go down, we've had one situation, actually 2 now, where Ford has sent an over-the-air update to the truck.
Oh, okay.
And it confuses the CAN system and the steps don't work.
Oh.
It happens overnight generally.
Yeah.
So pull that out, put it back in, it'll reset the system, and you'll be good to go.
Oh.
So these 2 fuses are for your air compressor, 1, 2. They're 40 amp fuses. If you find that you're blowing these, air stops working and these are blowing, you can upsize them to 50.
Okay.
I feel like we generally only experience that or hear that from clients that are constantly running their compressor in really hot environments.
Okay.
So, yeah, you can up them to 50.
Okay.
So this lower one is an 80 amp LiquidSpring fuse.
Okay.
So that's what these are. All of the forward-facing lamps, they are fused down here by right here in this little box.
Okay.
The OEM Ford up-here switches.
So air, LiquidSprings, forward-facing.
Yep.
Okay,
and
gotcha.
you're going to forget a lot of this, so don't hesitate to call me or Alex or Travis.
I might have to get the full video from you.
Yeah. Wouldn't be the first time. This is your front coupler for your Onboard Air 2. So you have 4. You have one here.
Okay. This is a quick disconnect?
Yep. You have one there.
Yeah.
You have one here.
Okay.
And then it's identical on the other side.
Okay.
So after we're done, Alex will show you an app you download. He'll kind of walk you through, the setup on it, how it all works, and all that stuff. And you'll put that on your phone.
Okay. What's best practice for running PSI?
I would go 70. Keep the front at 65.
Okay.
and kind of see how you like that, and maybe increase front if you want more stability out of it. But I think you'll be fine 70, 75. But you should drive through a cat scale when you're done, and then I'll tell you what pressure should be.
Oh, okay. And what about when it's unloaded?
Unloaded, Alex is...
It's 65 in the front, 60 in the back.
Okay. Yep.
60 in the back.
Unloaded,
Yep.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
You could drop down to 60 in the front and 55 in the back if you want to as well, but that's a really good one for him.
Okay,
Yep.
so 65 and 60,
Yep.
or 65 and 70.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
We'll revisit that after we get your
Yeah.
axle weights.
Okay.
Managing tire pressure is the most critical part of ensuring this tire will last you 35 to 45,000 miles, which, as long as you manage tire pressure, it absolutely will. So you have 3 short whips,
Okay.
and then you have, this one feels like the long one. Right? Yeah, 120 footer.
Oh, okay.
So after Alex sets up the app for you, you can run through, and he'll show you how you use the hose if you just want continuous pressure. That's the long one.
Oh, okay.
If you're going to fill up a trailer tire or your buddy's car or something like that.
Right.
That's what that was for.
Okay. When you guys are airing down,
Yep.
are you just putting in like a set of stems or signs or however you say that?
Onboard Air 2 does that.
Oh, it
So,
does that.
yeah,
So
so-
you don't need to. You just hook it up to the.
Yes. So say you want to air down your rears at the same time. Most of the time you'll be modulating rear only. Because you can mostly leave the front the same. Unless you're going in sand or mud, right?
Okay.
But if you're changing tire pressure for weight,
well, mine's gonna be for mud, probably. Well, maybe some.
Maybe-
For weight. Maybe for weight. Yeah.
if you're dropping the camper and using the truck and then you're going to
Yeah,
load
yeah.
it again,
Yeah.
you'd mostly be changing rear. If you're
Right.
doing all 4, then you just connect all 4 hoses. No problem.
Okay.
Enter the pressure you want in your application, and it'll drop into that.
Okay.
So there's 2 little dimples there on that key.
Yeah. I see that.
You want to make sure they're lined up when you lock it.
Okay.
It's a compression latch. When they're lined up, that means that it's fully latched, you're good to go.
Okay.
So when you unlock him, you reach under from
half turn.
Yep. So about 180 degrees.
Okay.
I'll push up from the bottom
Yeah.
and slide down.
Okay.
Set this somewhere.
Somewhere safe.
Yep. Controller goes here,
Oh, okay.
and then this is your free spool lever. So
Okay.
right now it's locked.
Yeah.
In free spool, you'll be able to pull this out as you wish.
Yep.
If you're going to use the winch, you have that facing rearward to engage it.
Okay.
Um,
So free spool, just pull it.
yep. So it's like.
Oh, it doesn't matter which direction you pull it,
Yep.
as long as it's just facing.
Yep.
Okay.
Now. Up. We'll release it. So if you flip into free spool,
Yeah.
then you can pull it out. Right?
Okay.
It gets easier to pull it the harder line gets out, but
Okay.
not too bad. So you do want a little bit of tension on this line.
And that is wired just to the battery, so you don't go all the time. Obviously, for demonstration purposes, this is okay. You're going to want to have that engine running when you're doing that. Just
Right.
a real big geared up electric motor.
Right.
Definitely going to want to have the engine running when you're using that.
Okay, that makes sense.
For anything more than, if you want to show ladies how it works, this is fine.
Right.
But if you're going to
Yeah.
be,
Okay. Yeah. No, that makes
Feel
sense.
that tension on that hook right now?
Oh, okay.
You want it pretty snug.
Pretty snug.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, this is one thing I'm kind of nervous about. Like, because I hear people in the forums complain all the time about how much of a pain in the ass it is.
They don't have tailgates from our trucks, that's why.
Okay.
Yeah. So on a 350 or 450 pickup, all of your wiring is connected down underneath the bed next to the fuel tank. It's a pain in the ass to unplug it, and then you got to fish the whole thing through this tiny hole.
Right. Okay.
So because we manufacture, the pickup bed and we do all the wiring for it.
Right.
We put your connections right here.
Oh, okay.
So it makes it very easy to disconnect your lower one, the tailgate removes, and you have 2 plugs here. It's super easy.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's no connections you have to worry about underneath the truck. So yeah.
You can
And then-
we'll go over this a little bit later when I show you the camper connections and stuff.
Sure.
We'll show it,
Okay.
removed, and
Remove.
I have harnesses that you're going to plug into there, and we'll go over
Oh yeah,
all
because
that.
I need to take it off to even put the camper
Yep.
on. Anyways.
Yes.
Yeah.
But no, this is the easiest, fastest disconnecting tailgate like on a stock pickup truck.
Oh, okay.
Which, this was a lesson actually we learned the hard way. Our earlier Black Edition pickups, we didn't wire this way. We had the connections under the tailgate. And a client who actually became a friend of ours was like, you guys should have done it this way. This is stupid. And we're like, thank you for telling us. And we changed it since then. Right. Yep. We'll run through the connections, or Alex will run through the connections there with you.
Okay.
But I'll just point them out. So your 7-pin, that is your Anderson connection for DC to DC.
Okay.
And that is all of the GOST connections up there.
Oh, the GOST connections.
Yep.
Yeah, so those are your 3 camera
for the
power for the cameras.
Oh, cool.
That is your Pro Power.
Pro power. Yeah.
You can.
And you said it has to be running.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Because it's actually like a true little generator.
Yes. Yeah, it's a generator that then powers an inverter, and yeah, it's sweet. I mean,
Yeah.
yep. You can run small jackhammers with it.
Okay.
It's very cool.
Sweet.
7-pin.
Okay.
We do have your extension, your wiring extension.
Okay.
It's on your cart.
Okay.
Obviously, no torque lift extension.
Right.
Because you're going to figure that out.
And these are 2.5.
2.5. 2.5 upper. Yep.
2.5 upper.
The torque lift extensions are 2 2s, right, Alex? Yeah, they're both 2s.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So the torque lift extension are 2-inch diameter, which is why you have this reducer here.
Oh.
If you're pulling a trailer, you'll want to remove the reducer. Come on.
Okay.
A little sticky at first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you remove that reducer, and then your bulb will go here.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. If I'm like without the camper, yeah.
Yes.
I know. Yeah. I'm just like every time we walk back here, I'm just like, wow, it's really mine. Yeah. No, that's awesome.
No, it came out really nice.
The blackout package is so cool too.
Oh, absolutely. This is your Ravelco interior mounted plug.
Okay.
On your keys, you do have this little guy.
Yeah.
Turned off, it looks like. So, basically,
That'll do that. Okay. And then it's every time. So now I'll never be able to do auto start because of this, right?
that
You will have to leave that installed
yeah.
if you want an auto
Yeah.
remote start.
So I wouldn't be. So basically no.
Basically.
Basically, no. Now,
which
if you're at your house, it's cold. You know it's going to be cold out, and you feel comfortable with the factory alarm system. You know, keeping it safe overnight.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Otherwise, the truck will not start without that.
I'm gonna suffer and just be safe.
You got.
What did you think of that? The CP4 disaster kit that we put on?
It's cool.
Think
Yeah,
it's
it's
worth
cool.
it or not?
I mean, possibly, yeah.
If it saves you from getting stranded because that CP4 pump detonates,
That's true.
Yeah, 100% worth it.
it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it never matters.
Hopefully,
Never even know it's
hopefully
there.
there's just no downside.
The only downside I've seen so far is a half-second extended crank.
Oh.
So if you start this truck next to your buddy that has, you know, another 6.7 to call it a 350 or something,
Yeah.
it's a tick longer to run through that filter.
Oh, okay.
Starts every single time. It's never where you even go, what's going on? Okay, there. It's just
okay.
split second longer than
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
typical. Because it's just running through some other hoses and stuff.
Okay.
And I'll go over that whole, I'll show
Okay.
you that whole system when we
Okay. That's true. Okay.
when I take over here.
I'm going to get out of here.
Okay.
Thank you so
All right.
much.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
my pleasure. Alex is going to take over, and he's
Yeah.
going to tell you everything you need to know.
Okay.
And then, yeah, give me a call later.
I will.
All right. Thank you.
I will, dude.
Thank you, sir. All right, my pleasure.
So awesome.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right, see you guys.
All right. Have a
Safe
good trip.
travels.
All right, see you.
Yeah.
We upgraded the battery terminal here
Okay.
because there are so many things that we have going in and out of them. This is what it typically looks like, and we will often add a stud in the back here when we have 1 or 2 things that are going to go on there, like if it's just going to be the step and then maybe one other thing. We try to keep the LiquidSpring on the passenger side battery and most other things over here on the driver side battery. So the ARB compressor is the only other thing that's directly tied to that battery. Now it is
So the LiquidSpring and
an
the
ARB compressor are on that one.
Okay.
And it's really because if you're running that compressor, it's not going to be, like, you're going to be stopped.
Okay.
So you're in theory, your LiquidSpring is not going to be constantly functioning all the time.
Right.
But we've run into some issues with the LiquidSpring if you're trying to draw too many things off the battery and then the LiquidSpring kicks on. It doesn't love it.
Oh, yeah.
Now these are tied together. So this battery, if you disconnect this power, that lead is still hot because it's technically connected to the other battery. So the CP4 pump, if you look,
Somebody turn it off then.
it'll be all right for a minute.
Okay.
So the CP4 pump is actually directly down underneath, like right here.
Okay.
So we actually remove the intake, and the pump is it's a little mechanical driven pump from inside the truck. There's a tappet in there that drives from the gears behind the timing cover.
Okay.
So you remove that, it adds a screen in there, and then what it does is just reroute fuel going out of the return system. So what will happen is that pump fails, the metal debris goes out the return into the tank and then gets filtered back through the system and then blows the injectors up.
Right.
So what this does is just takes any fuel that is leaving that CP4 pump and runs it through that filter right there.
Oh. Okay.
So that it's a very basic system.
Yeah.
All the connections that they give you, like you can see that little T fitting with the S on it right there. So the fitting that they give you is a factory fitting. So
Yeah.
there's no cutting, modifying, it just clips in.
Okay.
Easy peasy. So if you can see just down past that filter there, there's 2 fuse blocks.
Yep.
So one of them is for the audio system. The other
Okay.
one is for the DC to DC charger.
Oh, okay. Where is the DC? Where's that attached?
Here is your
Oh,
that's your DC charging, and then I have you'll have that exact same kind of flush panel connector on the camper, and then I made you an extension jumper harness that just plug in there, plug in the camper.
Okay.
So it's the same thing with the 3 with the rubber covers up top.
Yeah.
Those are video cables.
Yep.
So there's the 3 cameras on the camper, and then that end one is power for the cameras. That power cable for the cameras is also the trigger. There's a battery isolator for the DC to DC charger in the camper. So it will sense when the alternator is running, and then it will connect a relay and charge the battery in the camper, so that when you're sitting, shut the truck off, it will disconnect that.
Oh, okay.
So that you can't kill the truck batteries running things off of your camper stuff.
Good. That's good. That's good.
So that's an automatic disconnect, and again,
Okay.
when we get out there, I'll show you those couple little systems. So
Okay.
you can change your image here.
Thermal action.
That
right
was
there.
a nice thing there. So
Yeah.
so you can flip here. So that's your other front view camera. That's this guy up here.
Oh,
So that's
okay.
gonna, if someone comes and starts messing around with that driver window or something, this gets both, obviously,
Yeah.
both your front seats there, interior. I was gonna put one of these in the camper. I decided not to, just for privacy reasons.
Oh, okay.
Didn't want
Yeah.
you to have to think that you have to block a camera when you're getting changed because it's recording on a DVR.
Oh, yeah. That makes
And
sense.
we just figured there are security options and things. No one's gonna get in there.
Right.
If they do, you're gonna see them walking around it. You're gonna
Right.
see them go in the back door.
Right.
So I just I was like, I don't want to be on camera
And
when
I've got those extra locks on there and stuff. Yeah.
there's the extra locks.
Yeah.
There's all that.
So how many cameras did we end up with? I'm trying to remember.
So there's 8 cameras.
8
so if you
cameras.
tap the screen, the first one will default to the cameras that we just have like available out here.
Okay.
So tap again. It's going to go to all 8. These 3 are not here
for
because
the
they're the ones on the
truck
camper.
camper.
And
So
then
we have 5 on the truck and 3 on the
yes,
camper. Okay.
yes. The reason why it looks like these are doubles is because they're on the door. So if you close that, you can see, I mean, obviously now you're just seeing a white wall, but you can see where this one is pointed over there. And then,
Oh, this is literally that wall.
yes, yeah, that's why it's just white. And then the other thing that you can do, obviously, because they're mirrors, is you could pull this in and point it somewhere else if you wanted to.
Oh.
Say you pull into a campsite and the road to get into the campsite comes from this way.
Yep.
You could pull that mirror over and just aim it
Yeah.
a little bit differently.
Okay.
I think you'd really only want to do it in a case like that, right? Like if you're in a secluded area and there's,
Is that how you move these mirrors? They're not powered.
they are power.
Oh, they are
But
power.
they're just only power on your side, so I had to yank mine. Rear view display here.
So this is the back of the bed.
Yeah, so we install the camera into the third brake light. We delete the lamp, the clearance lamp on the left side. They're just halogen bulbs. They're not very bright.
Yeah.
And initially we were putting them in the middle, but you have to delete the brake light at that point, which not, again, safety, not super comfortable doing that, so we moved it over. So it is slightly off center, very little. You can see here, that's the top of your tailgate on that bottom edge right there.
Oh, okay.
And then there's adjustments here, so I never mess with the brightness. This is the one that you're going to want to play with. It's up and down, so you can go down a hair, and then you can go up a hair as well. If you're like loading your camper and you maybe want that lower view so you can see the edges. It is a very narrow band of view there, so you don't get a ton. So we try to just hit a sweet spot of where you're going to be able to see traffic behind you if you want. You can go a little bit lower or a little higher.
This is like an extra Ford rear view.
This is an aftermarket system.
This is an aftermarket
It's Gentex is the company.
Gentex. Okay.
So it is aftermarket.
Okay.
I don't believe that I don't think they come on the Fords. Definitely not on the 550s. I think you can get them on a 3. But we reinstall these all the time. It's very nice. And then if you ever just want to shut it off, you just flip that back like you would on a regular rear view mirror to like stop the glare. And that's just going to shut off the video, and then you just have, your normal rear view mirror.
So when you guys are driving down the road, do you use this or do you use just the regular mirror?
So the reason why you're going to want to shut it off is when you put your camper in, because it's just going to show you like a white screen all the time.
Oh yeah. Of course.
So if that's the case,
then you just
might want to go like that, just so it's not another, especially if you're driving at night.
Yeah.
Because it's a light.
Yeah.
Of course, when you back up, you're going to have your own backup camera in the tailgate on the camper. I have a lead for you to install on your boat.
Okay.
So you have plenty of backup cameras. You will have the GOST cameras, which is another whole set, but you have that as well, which is nice. It's kind of
so the GOST cameras, I've got thermal, front, the 2 sides, and
this guy.
Oh, this guy.
And then on the camper, so where the overhang kind of comes up over the cab, all the way forward in the corners, there's 2 that kind of come off at like a 45. So you get a side view of the camper, and then there's one directly over the rear door.
Okay.
So, and those are pretty...
That's what these 3 are.
Yes, exactly.
And this is something else.
This is just information. When you go to this 9 screen, since there's only 8 cameras, it's like a dummy window.
Oh, okay.
And then again, you just tap that and you can go back to your other options.
Okay.
And then the only other thing here that you will eventually play with. So it has these little arrows up down here. Yeah. So if you swipe, you can get to a settings menu, and then you can change that thermal color. So you can go like standard, inverted, and then there's just a bunch of different colorways here. Whatever tickles your fancy. CB radio is mounted over here. What's nice about this is that your power is already here and your antenna cable is already run out everywhere. Yeah. So if you wanted to upgrade this to anything else, just unbolt this and just put a new one right here, and your connections will already be there, so it'll all work.
Okay. This is going to that one.
That one.
Okay.
So your WeBoost antenna. So the WeBoost is mounted back behind the glove box here. It's all wired in and stuff on ignition. It's not going to drain the battery or anything. And then your interior antenna portion is right here.
This is just like that.
So that's just your phone mount.
Yeah.
That's all it'll do.
Okay.
This is this panel up here. It's called Bullet Point Mounting Solutions. The Ruby Grid.
Oh, right. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously that's what all these are mounted to. This is very easy to swap out to a different style. It's still that ram mount ball, so you can just unclamp this and remove this, and you could absolutely put a cradle mount on there and stick this to the back of it if it doesn't seem to be working as it should. Let me just show you the audio. We'll just... So that's why there's a red light flashing inside of there, just because it's not initialized, but it has power. Oh, okay. And then this little guy is just your fuse block for all of the camera system stuff. Constant power input, constant ground input, and then all of these, there's these 6 fuses. There's a couple different cameras and modules on each fuse. It's not necessarily like 1-to-1, 2-to-2. Oh. But if you ever blow a fuse on here, there's a little red light in there that will light up. Oh. So you can just at a glance look in there and be like, oh, that fuse is blown.
Okay. It's just a standard regular fuse?
Standard 3 amp. Standard blade fuse.
Okay.
So here's our sub box. There's a sub. Very simple. We had it custom designed to fit the back of our truck here, and then we trim out the sound deadening, the factory sound deadening here. Yeah. It's also sound deadened behind here. You can see that's the outer foam. There's 3 layers. So there's a butyl pad behind that as well.
Okay.
The amp is over on the other side, just a silver metal box. There's nothing really. There's some options here. So pressure off, just not going to do anything.
Okay.
Pressure control is what's going to allow you to use these presets. So you can set them to whatever you want. If you want to have one set to 80 and one to 65, so you can just go in there and just be like, yep, we're airing down or we're airing up. You know, you're going to load the camper up, jump it up there. You can set those. Then the other thing that is just pressure max. So what you can hear is that's going to turn that on. It's going to get to about 150 PSI and then just shut off. So if you wanted to say fill up a paddle board or you need something that you don't have a set PSI you want to go to, you can just turn on that pressure max, plug your airline into any of the 4 fittings, and then if you want to use it to just blow dirt off of you, dry your dog
Fill up
off.
things,
Fill up a paddle board or tubes or anything like that. You would go to pressure max.
Okay.
So this is your backup camera. I have an adapter made that will plug in to both of these. Power, video, and then DC to DC charger.
Oh, okay.
So you can see we have a GOST camera straight up above the door there.
Okay.
That is your Ford factory backup camera. So once we plug that in, when you put the truck in reverse, you'll get a backup cam out of that in the big Ford screen. All of our storage for cables are in here. So I made these very long so that you could, so we raise the camper up, you'll back about 3/4 of the way underneath it, and that way you can reach under here and plug stuff in and still reach into the bed and plug stuff in. And then you'll kind of just pull the slack to the side and then finish placing it all the way in. I've run into this before where I made the leads very short and Jeremy got really mad at me because he had to struggle like hell to get the DC to DC plugged into it. And I was like, I've never had a camper, I've never loaded one in a truck, that never occurred to me that would be an issue.
Right.
So,
okay, so this is for the backup camera.
this is Ford factory backup camera. So this end will plug in under here. So this is a dead cap. So you can just take that off, just chuck it in there. It's just going to keep it weather sealed.
Okay.
So you'll plug in this side here.
Yeah.
This side is going to plug into the connector under your tailgate.
That's like
Obviously
male
your
and
tailgate
female,
will be removed.
Okay.
It will only go one way on here.
Yeah.
So this is your power cable for the cameras. And this is also the trigger for the DC to DC. So if for whatever reason you're like, I don't care about my cameras today, I don't want to turn them on, but I do want to charge my batteries in there, you'll want to plug this in. So this is the 7-pin that they send you from Bigfoot. So we didn't make this.
Right.
You can kind of tell.
And so, but I still have to use that.
Yeah, so this will go up in there, and this will plug into that 7-pin that's inside the bed where all these connections are.
That is a sketchy
So
one, isn't it?
it's same thing on both sides. It's totally fine. Like I have these exact Pollock connectors.
Yeah.
I just loom the wire instead of just taping them.
Right. Okay.
Ours look like this. It's just,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
and that's just how we like to do our things.
Right.
This is the DC to DC. So
Okay.
there's 2 0-gauge cables in here. It's still pretty flexible.
Okay.
So it's not crazy. It's just heavy.
Yeah.
But then same thing. So these will only go in one way. I don't know if you're familiar with the style connector at all.
Okay.
But you can't flip it over. It will have to go to plus negative. Like it can't. You can't max it up.
So this is unidirectional.
Yes. Yep. Same thing as the other one. It doesn't matter which side goes into the truck and which side goes into the camper.
Okay.
And then this is our camera's harness. So it's just 3 and 3.
Oh, okay.
And then, have you ever used one of these style PNC connectors before? So there's a slot on both sides, and then you'll see on here there's like a little pin. So you'll line it up to the pin, slide it in, and then quarter turn it, and then it's locked.
It just has. There's not a specific one for a specific one.
No.
Just 3 and 3.
If you wanted to label them so that like every time you plug in, you plug A to A, and that makes camera A number 6 on that controller. If you wanted to do it the same way every single time,
okay.
absolutely can. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
I didn't want to overcomplicate things and label everything to death and have it be some crazy thing. Just plug them in. They'll work. It'll be totally fine. So they had, these were like here and here, and this fuse was like all over here, and these wires kind of came, it was a big mess.
What is this one?
So this is the switcher. So this is what I mean when I say it's a battery isolator is what it's called. So this will not allow this to drain your truck batteries.
Oh, okay.
So this relay senses when the truck goes from normal voltage to idling.
Okay.
So it'll see it go from about 11.5 to about 13.
Yeah.
It'll turn that on, which connects here to here.
Okay.
I made sure to route everything up and over so that if we want to add lithium batteries or whatever, you have as much possible space down here as you need. I mean, these are very, very simple contractor locks.
Okay.
It's not actually like locked right now. Oh, there it goes. So you just turn it, pull it out, and it slides off.
So are these pretty heavy duty locks?
These are pretty stout, especially because there's two. The biggest thing with this, with all of this stuff and thieves and people that want to break in, you just need to make it harder than the next guy.
Right.
If they come up to this thing and you're in the middle of the woods and they're like, I want to get in there, and they come up and there's 2 huge padlocks on it, they're gonna be like,
And
fuck
4
it,
cameras on the
we'll go to
outside of it.
That's and that's not to mention, camera. There's 2 cameras on the outside corners, which I didn't even point out.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so those are all the way up there, and then that sensor in the middle of the window there is a motion sensor.
Oh.
So first of all, Alex is in the way, but you can see the door sensor on the inside of the door there.
Oh, okay.
And then obviously it's attached to there, so when it opens and it swings away, alarm. Right above your head is a smoke detector. So that is a smoke detector as part of the security system. That is a smoke detector as part of just the camper.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was silly to get rid of a smoke detector. So I left that one over there, and I moved this one over here.
Okay.
And I figure there's plenty of ventilation around here, so if you're cooking, I don't think that that's going to be a huge issue. But what that will do is ping the alarm system like to your phone.
Oh.
If something happens where obviously that's just going to go nuts in here.
Right.
Which is great if you're in here and it wakes you up because you're sleeping.
Right.
But if you're away from it, that one's going to let you know,
Okay.
hey, there's a problem. We have a beam sensor. So this is, there's no visible beam, but this is an eye, and this is an eye. If you break it, it'll set the alarm.
Oh.
So let's say somehow...
No one's gonna know that's there.
No.
To respect the privacy and also secrecy of where a lot of these security items are located, we're not going to show Ken and Alex going over every detail of that in the truck, since you guys already got a brief overview, but you have a pretty good idea of everything that this camper's packing and what we've done to it.
So, I don't know what the best way of doing it necessarily is. I mean,
No, take care, man. Safe travels to you. Enjoy the setup.
All right, thanks, guys.
Take care.
See you later.
see ya.
Bye.
All right, guys, thanks for watching another truck delivery with us. Matt, PPF over the Carbonized Gray, absolutely beautiful. Client was super pumped. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon for notifications every time we upload a new video, and we will catch you on the next one.